Good evening, esteemed guests, respected faculty members, dear students, and everyone present here. On behalf of Satya Research Institute, I extend a warm welcome to all of you to the inaugural function of our 39th academic year 2024-25. Satya Institute of Philosophy and Culture, located in Inaugural, Chennai, is celebrating its 39th year of excellence. Founded in October 1986 by the Jesuits, the Institute is set in a serene green campus, ideal for philosophical research. Its mission is to seek truth, rediscover forgotten wisdom, evolve new paradigms, and challenge established ideas to promote a world of harmony. Recognizing the importance of profound philosophical insights embedded in culture, the Institute aims to address the challenges posed by modern science and technology, superficiality and disconnection from nature and spirituality. Satya Research Institute collaborates with like-minded entities to rebuild humanity through philosophical inquiry. The Institute values opportunities for introspection and aims to contribute to research that fosters a better world. With a renewed vision and clear objectives, it is dedicated to assisting humanity in achieving harmony through deep philosophical understanding. To begin this auspicious occasion, let's invoke the blessings of the Almighty. I now invite the Satya Nilayam choir to lead us in a prayer song. Thank you, SF Choir, for that soulful rendition. Next, we shall proceed with the ceremonial lighting of the lamp, symbolizing the dispelling of darkness and ushering in of knowledge and wisdom. I request our dignitaries, the Rector, Dr. Boniface Panna, Director of SNRI, Dr. Valerian Mendonça, Dr. Lawrence Fernandez, one of the guides, today's keynote speaker, Dr. Kuruvilla Pandikattu, and one of our SNRI scholars, Anthony Rubandas, to kindly come forward for the lighting of the lamp. Thank you, esteemed dignitaries. Now I invite the Rector of Satya Nilayam, Dr. Boniface Panna, the Director of SNRI, Dr. Valerian Mendonça, and today's keynote speaker, Dr. Kuruvilla Pandikattu, to occupy the seats on the dais. Now, to formally welcome us all and to set the tone for today's event, I invite Dr. Valerian Mendonça to deliver the welcome address.
Good evening to you all. I'm delighted to welcome the distinguished guests to this inaugural function of the 39th academic year of SNRI. First of all, I gratefully welcome Professor Dr. Kuruvilla Pandikattu SJ, who willingly agreed to deliver the keynote address and set a tone for our discourse, discussion and publication this year. When we thought of the year's theme, I first thought of Professor Kuruvilla. Though AI is the talk of the town today, he was already talking about it 20 years ago when I was doing MPH in JD. And today, what he spoke those days has become a reality. Welcome to you, Dr. Kuruvilla. A warm welcome to many of the guests and friends of SNRI. Some are still coming. I also extend my hearty welcome to Dr. Boniface Panna SJ, the Rector of Sacred Heart College, Satya Nilayam, and Dr. Lawrence Fernandez SJ, the Principal of the Ecclesiastical Faculty. Welcome to you all. A cordial welcome to my colleagues, research scholars, support staff, and to you, my dear students. all the friends and well-wishers of SNRI. Years ago, our daddy brought a new guest, a strange guest, an uncle to our home, to our house. Gradually, this uncle occupied an important, significant place in our house. He was well known with a lot of things. Daddy would engage with him in the evenings, listening to news about what's happening outside. But Mommy was very apprehensive about him, very suspicious too, because she thought we children were spoiled by the new ideas, by this new uncle. We were more interested spending time with him rather than do our homework. However, eventually, Mommy to spend most of our time, maybe more than us, engaging in this uncle, especially in the afternoons, listening to family stories. Sometimes evening prayer was delayed or often cancelled too, because this uncle had something interesting to tell. That's why the parish priest called this guest in our house a devil in the home or devil in the house. Some pundits wrote pages or volumes about this uncle, explaining or predicting how this uncle will destroy family values. But over the years, that uncle has lost his charm and has become only a piece of decoration in our house. I'm sure by now you have guessed who this uncle is. That is Uncle TV in our house, Uncle Television. Today, as I said, this uncle has lost charm because there is a new auntie in the town. Perhaps she is not a guest, but an uninvited or yet inevitable companion. Can I call her Aunt AI? Aunt Artificial Intelligence? Please don't accuse me of gender bias, calling her auntie. You open any device, any AI-driven device gives you instructions in a female voice unless you change it manually. All these devices interact with us. Now talking about interaction. In the yesteryears, the second year students would know, when Medium 2.0 was the era, we interacted not only with the content of the medium, but interacted with medium itself, as Marshall McLuhan pointed out. We interact with the medium itself. However, in today's technological world, perhaps Aunt AI is interacting with us more than we interact with the system. She knows what books I read. She knows what YouTube videos I watch. She knows what online things I purchase. And I don't know what else she knows about me. Unlike that one aunt in my childhood who taunted all the time about my weaknesses and failures. This aunt knows them, yet pampers me with better choices for my taste and better choices for my interest. In other words, Aunt AI, even without my knowledge, makes decisions for me. Leaving analogies and metaphors aside, what I would like to point out is that AI can perform the kinds of processes associated with the human mind. So the big question we are faced with today is, does this AI, which invisibly interacts with me by processing information in complex way, does it process consciously with a subjective experience? In other words, has artificial intelligence become, or will it become in the near future, artificial consciousness? Is artificial intelligence artificial consciousness? Some say AI is only an extension of our thinking or mind. Some think it is an artificial alternative to human intelligence, just a tool like any other tool. Yet, some believe AI is or will become conscious. Of course, whatever position you take depends on what do you understand by the term human consciousness, which is very often not conclusively understood, human consciousness itself. Nevertheless, any talk of consciousness or any subjective experience ought to be done within the moral order or moral radar, because consciousness involves choices. Choices involves responsibility. Therefore, the issue of AI and consciousness commissions the philosophers and intellectuals with a double task. First, to redraw the boundaries of human consciousness, and second, to reflect on why artificial consciousness matters morally. This year at SNRI, we aim to engage in this task of discourse on AI and consciousness for our research and publication. Issues like these might not be easy to address, but AI marches forward every day with new advancements. They become increasingly difficult to avoid these issues on AI. Today's talk by Dr. Kuruvilla perhaps addresses the second part of the task I mentioned, that is, to reflect on why artificial consciousness matters morally. I wish you all a deep thinking and intellectually stimulating evening. Once again, welcome to you all.
Thank you, Dr. Nilayam, for your warm welcome. To bless this occasion and all our endeavors for the academic year ahead, I now invite Dr. Nilayam, Rector of Satya Sacred Heart College, Satya, Nilayam, give his blessings.
Respected Dr. Kuruvilla Pandikattu, Dr. Director SNRI, Father Lindsay Lobo, SNRI Program Coordinator, Dr. Doris Hernandez, Principal and former Director of SNRI, scholars, research scholars, Sacred Heart College Satya staff, invited guests, and their students. I, with a feeling of pride and honor, underline that Sacred Heart College Satya Chennai, though primarily an ecclesiastical faculty, is adorned with two secular academic ventures, research and PhD in philosophy and culture, and MA in philosophy. If I am correct, I have not checked though, but Satya Nilayam Research Institute came into existence in the year 1986, and MA degree in philosophy from university that started in the 1998. Though occasionally we have faced some hurdles, we are able to carry along these ventures successfully. Creative intellectual pursuit and excellence are the common aims of these three. On the day of the inauguration of SNRI academic year, I am sure there are a number of programs and activities lined up throughout the year to achieve these aims. I sincerely wish to Satya Nilayam Research Institute team all success. God bless. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Pandikattu, for your heartfelt blessings. It is now time to look forward to the activities and the exciting programs that we have lined up here at SNRI. So dear friends, for the academic year 2024-25, there are a number of activities which will be held annually as well as on a monthly basis here at the Satya Nilayam Research Institute. And now let's take a look at some. First and foremost, when we speak about the annual events, we have, apart from the inaugural day that is today, we have 2 endowment lectures, and there will also be 2 national conferences, and a 3rd conference will be held for budding scholars. So the theme of this year, as you all know, is AI and consciousness, which has been very well summed up in the welcome address by the director of SNRI. And therefore all the activities, all the programs will be done keeping in mind this same theme. Now when we speak about endowment lectures, during the odd semester, we will have the Inaugural endowment lecture, which will be based on the theme East-West Perspectives. During the even semester, you have the Arukwe endowment lecture, which will focus on socio-political issues. As I said earlier, we also have 3 national conferences. The first national seminar, which will be on the topic AI and consciousness. We also have a seminar for those doing their masters, those doing their research in philosophy, and the topic will be media ethics and nation building, which will be launched next week. We also have a national seminar in collaboration with Sacred Heart College, Satya, Nilayam, and Department of Philosophy, Loyola College. We also have certain monthly programs in person as well as online. So in person here at SNRI, we have something called as Synomelia. That is, the staff and the scholars will present a paper based on their research, and then the audience gets an opportunity to express their views, to critique, and also provide constructive criticism in order to enhance the research work. Cinesophia is for Satya Nilayam students, where film analysis will be dealt into. Online, we have 3 programs lined up for you. First is the YR, which is based on current issues. And as the name suggests, questions are asked, you are made to think and thus come up with certain practical solutions. We also have the book discussion forum, where every month we take one chapter of a book that is decided, and we will be dealing with it, exposing the chapter as well as providing other views and opinions. And finally, the philosophy conversation forum will deal with issues and using certain philosophical concepts, philosophical methods in order to deal with it and arrive at a solution. We have 2 workshops lined up for you. First is on research tools dealt by Dr. Kuruvilla, where we deal with Zotero and Mendeley. And another one is for young research scholars who want to know the basics of research methodology and the basics of writing a research paper. You can also keep in touch with the activities of SNRI through our monthly newsletter, Stepping Stones, where all the activities as well as the upcoming programs will be presented to you. So thank you, and hope to see you all for our activities in the future. Thank you. It is now my honor to introduce our keynote speaker for today. And to do the honors, I call upon Joel D'Souza.
Respected dignitaries, invitees, and my dear friends, it is my privilege to introduce the keynote speaker of the day, Professor Dr. Kuruvilla Pandikattu SJ. Dr. Kuruvilla was born in 1957 and is currently the chair professor of J.R.D. Tata Foundation for Business Ethics at SNRI, Jamshedpur. He is a Jesuit priest belonging to the Dulka province and was professor of physics, philosophy and religion at Jnanadeepa, Pontifical Institute of Philosophy and Theology, Pune, India, since 1996. He has 3 master's degrees in physics and philosophy and 2 doctorates, one in philosophy and one in theology to his credit. His topic of research for theology was Alberta as the hermeneutic key to Greek Griffith's understanding of interreligious dialogue, completed in the year 1996. And for philosophy, it was Idols Must Die so that symbols might live, towards an ontology of symbols according to Paul Ricker, completed in 1995. He has been actively involved in issues like science-religion dialogue, transhumanism, viable human lifestyle, and philosophical anthropology. He is the author, editor of more than 45 books and over 210 academic articles. He has been involved in organizing more than 25 national and international conferences on science-religion dialogue. He is a widely traveled personality and has attended more than 100 conferences on philosophy, theology, and science-religion dialogue. He has been on the editorial board of 5 philosophical religious journals. His main areas of research are business ethics, ethics of artificial intelligence, anthropology, eschatology, and transhumanism. On behalf of everyone gathered here, we once again welcome Dr. Kuruvilla with a round of applause.
Thank you, Joel, for that gracious introduction. Now to felicitate our esteemed keynote speaker, I invite Dr. Lawrence Fernandez, Principal of Sacred Heart College, Satya, Nilayam, and Head of Department of Philosophy, Loyola College, to kindly do the honors. Thank you, Dr. Lawrence Fernandez. My dear friends, we are now privileged to listen to the inaugural keynote address by our distinguished keynote speaker, Professor Dr. Kuruvilla Pandikattu. The stage is yours.
Pune. So I'm very happy to be again in this community, searching together as philosophers. Before we begin, the students, have you brought your mobile with you? Okay. Please note down this mobile number. Okay, this is the introduction. Roll call for ethics. Hubris leading to nemesis. AI and hubris. Possible nemesis. Conclusion. Today, as we know, we live in societies and communities where we closely interact either offline or online. And that demands, living together demands from us both politics and ethics for helping one another and dealing with the frictions of being together. We all know, in a community, if we happen to be together even for 3 or 4 days, we need some kind of order, we need some kind of responsibility, and therefore politics and morality. That is at the community level. At the individual level, there is in each one of us the urge to be good. That is why we are here searching together. And that too leads us to commitment, responsibility, conscience, and ethics. So this presentation looks at the need for ethics at the collective level as well as at the personal level, particularly in the age of AI, artificial intelligence. It assumes, first of all, that ethics is an integral part of being together. And it also assumes that technological innovations challenge us to evolve outlines for a new ethics that can live up to the demands of technology. You know, ethics as we know is just about 400 years old. Science would be about 500 years old. But still, the last 100 years have produced enormous technological development. And AI is the sum total of that which has come about in the last 30 years. It would not be an exaggeration to say that all of you present in this room will live to see the wonders brought about by AI. The next 5 to 10 years will see AI transforming ourselves and the society radically. Just like electricity did about 100 years ago. Maybe it is a bit of exaggeration to say that AI would change the society like the wheat or the fire. May not be so much, but definitely as the electricity did today. And AI already is found practically everywhere. It is ubiquitous in nature, and thus the ethical and the social concerns mount exponentially. Jobs will be lost, social chaos, social disruption will definitely take place, biases and prejudices and insecurity in our privacy, these will be part of AI, and many people have been talking about it. The growth of AI has implications for practically every field of human existence, including theology and philosophy. So after focusing briefly on this, we move on to talk about the exploitative and dominative nature of intelligence in general and AI in particular. It need not be AI dominating and exploiting others. It would be most probably a cream of the society, not even 1%, maybe 0.001% of the society using AI and manipulating the rest of us, that is 99.99%. And this my fear is, will lead to hubris. Hubris would mean arrogance, pride, ahankara, and then this hubris, following the Greek mythology, leads to nemesis. Nemesis would be the downfall and the ruin. So, our talk would be focusing on the ubiquitous nature of AI, the power that AI has given to human beings, which may possibly, if you are not careful enough, lead to human arrogance, that is hubris, and human nemesis. I have about 5 questions to ask you in the course of this lectures. So please note down this email ID. Sorry, there's a mistake. It is actually JRDTF, not JTD, JRDTF at xlri.ac.in. JRD stands for JRD Data. The foundation I am heading is called Data Foundation. So JRD Data Foundation. That is actually the email. Please note down the email. I would request you, the questions will be coming. I would request you to answer the emails on 5 separate emails at different times. One question you can already think of is simple. Going to answer just now. The time will come later on to answer that question. But the question you can reflect on. The question is, if you have a chance to pose one question in your whole life, if you have a chance to pause and then get the answer for one question the whole of your life, what would that question be? The only question you will ask for which you will get the answer. You can consider that and answer me later. Okay, there are plenty of ethical issues involved with the emergence of AI, involved with the deep learning in the whole computer and technological singularity. Just one word about technological singularity. Remember Dr. Valerian talked about all our technologies being tools at our disposal. Every technology of ours. The TV is the extension of our eyes, telescope is the extension of, again the extension of our eyes, the mobile phone, extension of ears. So, till now, all our technology has been the extension, enhancement of our sense organs, including our feet and hands. So, till now, the technology by and large has been our servants. We use them as we like, and they are there at our disposal. But soon, many scientists argue, soon will come the technological singularity. The technological singularity is that moment when there will be a unique feature when technology takes over. At that time, technology will not be our servant or slave, but we would be the slave of the technology. That is the term technological singularity. It has not reached, but then most probably in the next 10 to 15 years, this moment, technological singularity we will cross, and if that is the case, we will be at the service of this super intelligent AI. So, what are the ethical issues? There would be job displacement, especially for people like us. Professors will become actually outdated. You know, these lectures which are monotonous, no one likes to listen to. So professors, lawyers, they will become outdated. And so many of the workers, laborers and employees, they will be replaced by robots. Even soldiers, they will be also replaced by sophisticated robots and drones. So there will be a tremendous disruption in terms of job replacement. Bias and discrimination. Most of the data fed into the AI systems comes from the Western countries, favoring the white and particularly the male. So the black people and the brown people like ourselves will be discriminated against. Privacy concerns. Actually, Google knows about me. I should not say, but Google knows about me much more than any one of you knows about me. And it may be an exaggeration, but still I can say Google actually knows about me even more than I know about myself. In some cases, not always. For example, 10 years ago where I was, I wouldn't know, I wouldn't remember, but Google definitely. Security risk, yes. Not only the bank fraud, but all our details, anything that is stored in Google Drive, anything, any material that you send through Gmail, Facebook, Instagram, yeah, they are all stored there, and there is no way, even if you delete them, it will be there forever. What about the accountability? You might have heard of the Tesla and so many of these EV, electronic vehicles, having autonomous drivers. And when such vehicles with no drivers meet with accidents, and it has already happened in America, at least 5 people have been killed by these driverless vehicles. But then, who can be held responsible? In the case of an accident where one driver dashes against another, okay, at least the driver can be held accountable. But in this case of a Tesla vehicle with no driver, who would be held accountable? Autonomy, the freedom that we cherish so much. As philosophy students, we know Kant laid so much of emphasis on our human autonomy, and that is at stake because, as I earlier said, if at all the singularity, the technological singularity emerges, then our freedom will be at stake. Together with technological singularity is the other version that we are talking about, that is the transhumanism. Transhumanism is the stage when we collectively evolve into the next level of Homo sapiens. But that would be possible only with technology, because ordinarily it would take us millions of years for human beings to evolve to the next stage of our growth, our evolution. But with the help of highly sophisticated technology, we may be able to reach a higher level of species, the transhumanism. Their claim is, please remember it's only their claim, I don't believe it is possible. Their claim is, yes, death is a sickness, we can collectively cure it. So there are already people who have uploaded their brains into the cloud, and they hope to survive even after their physical death. The physical death would be the destruction of their bodies, but their mind will survive. So these are the challenges in terms of autonomy. What about the transparency? Most of the big businesses in AI, in the social media, they don't read what they do with their data. Of course, they make money out of it. That is their primary motive. But how do they make money? To whom do they sell our data? There is no way. Then the social manipulation. Fake news we are all aware of. When elections come, whether it be in India or in America or in Europe, there are so many agents employed primarily to manipulate the news, create actually emergency situations, and create situations where the actual news is filtered out, and the news which is favorable to a particular political party is again and again repeatedly shown. And finally, the last thing is something which we as thinkers, we as philosophers must be worried about. That is the existential risk. By existential risk, I mean the risk to our own total existence. I am not primarily talking about the existentialist philosophy started by Kierkegaard. I am talking about the risk that will affect the human civilization, our own destiny. It is true, if we don't control AI, if we let a few companies dominate over AI and dominate us through AI, then the human existence itself is at risk. And therefore, in this context, something actually unimaginable has happened. The Vatican itself has called for a conference in the year 2020, just when the COVID situation was getting normal, on AI, and that is titled the Roman Call for AI Ethics. The CEOs of so many of the companies like Facebook, Tesla, and others did take part with the representative of Vatican. It is very good that they came because they were aware of the consequences that AI will have, not just on religion, but on the society and on humanity as such. This is actually extracts from that Roman code signed in Vatican and actually monitored by Rome itself. The Rome Code for AI Ethics is a document signed for the first time on February 28, 2020 to promote an ethical approach to AI. The idea behind this to promote a sense of shared responsibility among international organizations, governments, institutions and technology companies in an effort to create a future in which digital innovation, technological progress grant men, human beings, the centrality. The danger, as I said, is we will become secondary, we will become slaves. It will be a few elite, 0.001% of the elite, using the mighty powerful AI, controlling the other human beings, that is 99.99%. That serves every person and humanity as a whole, which respects the dignity of the human person, so that every individual can benefit from the advances of technology, and that does not have as its sole goal greater profit or gradual replacement of people in workplace. Unfortunately, the primary goal of all the businesses using this AI is to make money and to replace the laborers with robots. Once you replace the laborers with robots, they don't have to pay them. That will increase their profit. So, AI-based technology must never be used to exploit people in any way, especially those who are most vulnerable. You know, Pope Francis has been repeatedly emphasizing this aspect of our marginalized, the vulnerable. Instead, AI must be used to help people develop their abilities and to support the planet. In this connection, I want to repeat the quote from John F. Kennedy. He said in the year 1963, our present generation can make itself the best generation humanity has ever lived, or the last generation. We have so much of technological power, we have so much of knowledge and wisdom that we can make ourselves the best generation. But we also have so much of power to make ourselves the last generation. And that, dear brothers and sisters, is the challenge that we face collectively. So, this same Rome Code for AI ethics mentions 6 general ethical guidelines. One is transparency. Second one is inclusion. We should include all of us. Not just the elite, rich, but everyone. Third, responsibility. Not only the companies who make, everyone has got a responsibility for one another. Fairness and human dignity are safeguarded by impartiality. This implies we do not create or act based on our bias. And fifth one, reliability, security and privacy. So these are the 6 general guidelines. After that, this is only another thing that I want us to take seriously. After that, so much of discussion has been going in the public domain. I'm just giving some headlines. The Rome Code for AI ethics should CIOs heed it. CIOs means Chief Information Officers. Every company has got the CIO, just like a CEO. CIOs, Chief Information Officer. Rome Code for AI ethics, a global university summit. Press release. Cisco is a very famous business group. Cisco signs the Rome Code for AI ethics. So in that sense, the Rome Code has impacted some businesses. It has created a wave among people. After some months, this is another news, maybe you would have read it. More than 1,100 technologists, technicians and AI researchers, they signed an open letter asking that we put a stop to AI research at least for 6 months. Their idea is AI is growing so rapidly, particularly the ChatGPT versions 4 and 5. They are growing so rapidly, but we don't understand it. We don't know how to control it, and we don't even know the direction. So let us just stop for a while. Let us just put a moratorium on the AI research, just at least for 6 months, so that we come to deal with it. We know where we are going. At the moment, it is a mad rush. Every company trying its best to overtake the AI and use it to make profit. So these researchers, more than 1,000 of them, including Elon Musk, signed this document. Sad to say, no one paid attention to it. The trouble is, if one company stops doing research, this company is afraid that the others will overtake this company in this particular way. Or if America as a nation stops this AI research, they are afraid China will overtake America in these 6 months of moratorium. So, although so many of these prominent persons did advocate for a stop for 6 months, it was not heeded. And it is in this context I want to talk about that hubris. Hubris is of course a Greek word taken from the Greek mythology, and that is about power that we have. And when we are so powerful, then we develop a kind of arrogance, a kind of pride, self-assertion. The last 100 years have given us so much of power unimaginable in the whole history of humanity. So the first question I want you to answer, send an email to jrbtf@xlri.ac.in. The first question I want you to answer, how old is humanity? Human beings as we know, Homo sapiens, how old are you? So, Right from the beginning of humanity, we have been amassing power. According to one philosopher, the real motivating factor of human beings is power. Who it is? Who said the will to power is what really makes human beings? Nietzsche. Okay, the second question is, Friedrich Nietzsche is a German philosopher. He is the one who said that humans long to have power over others. The question is, please spell out the name Nietzsche. First year wrote it, second year. Spell out the name Nietzsche. Friedrich Nietzsche, you know, he is the one who famously said, God is dead. And will to power is his grace. Along with that, a psychologist Adler also said the same thing. So, when we have so much of power, power is the thing that drives people forward. In the case of Hitler, of course, that is true. In our case also, to a very limited extent, we seek power. Essentially, there are three driving forces in human life. One is power, the second one would be pleasure. You all know the pleasure principle of Freud. Power, pleasure, and the third one is purpose. Purpose or meaning. Who is such thinker who spoke about the meaning as the motive for human beings? That's not a question you don't need to answer. The author of Men's Search for Meaning. Who is the fellow? Any of the students can answer? Who wrote the book Men's Search for Meaning? Yes, Viktor Frankl. His solution is correct. 60% answer. Not Germany, but close to Germany. They also speak German. Austrian. So Viktor Frankl is the one who wrote the book Men's Search for Meaning. St. Paul's publication has brought out an Indian version of it. Please do read through it. So, the lesson that we have learned from the Greek mythology is, whenever someone becomes so powerful, so mighty, so arrogant, so high, there will be a natural collapse. And that is nemesis. From our Indian system, that is what we call the law of karma. A typical flaw in a personality or character who enjoys a powerful position, that is this hubris, the arrogance. Okay, examples are William Macbeth, Shakespeare's Macbeth, Dr. Faust, that is actually a very, very important example of the hubris, the pride. Frankenstein is a novel written by an English girl. She was just 20 years old when she wrote this novel, Frankenstein. This novel talks about a scientist creating a monster. So the scientist, just out of his fun, when he had some free time, created a monster. And the scientist's name is Victor Frankenstein. Sadly, it didn't turn out that well. The monster actually attacked the scientist, killed many of his relatives. 3 quotes I want you to remember from this novel, Frankenstein. Mary Shelley, just when she was 20 years old, that is younger to all of you here. I am malicious because I am miserable. This is the quote from the monster. The monster doesn't have a name in this novel. The monster is a creature of this great scientist. I am malicious because I am miserable. Beware, I am fearless and therefore powerful. If I cannot inspire love, I will at least cause fear and so control you, so dominate you forward. Okay, some background about it. Mary Shelley, an English writer, writing about technological progress by a scientist, where the creature has turned against the scientist and against his own near and dear ones. The question, approximately how many years ago did Mary Shelley write this novel? Just approximately how many years ago? Okay, John Milton. The date is, hubris is associated with a range of additional issues such as recklessness, I don't care, I would do things, impulsiveness, loss of contact with reality, unwillingness to consider undesirable outcomes, refusal to feel accountable to others, difficulty in facing changing realities, reliance on simplistic formula for success, and impaired, reduced moral awareness, all of which can lead to its own downfall. Nemesis. Studies show that the great leaders of companies, CEOs, their hubris is associated with increased unethical behavior at firms that they lead. Elon Musk is a simple example of that. They want to make money, they want to be brutal towards their employees, and then they are not responsible to anyone. These are all other two cases. This Sam Bankman-Fried is someone just as old as you. He's the founder of a company called Theranos. No, he's not Theranos. A crypto company, and the company collapsed, and now he is in jail. There is an article I only want to know to talk about the title. Who will pay the price for big tech's hubris? Who will pay the price for the arrogance and hubris of the big tech? It appeared in the Wired magazine. AI and hubris, arrogance is at the heart of AI revolution. It is the dawn of a new revolution, the fourth industrial age that is already coming. The first industrial revolution was the starting of industrial revolution. How did the industrial revolution begin? The big industries, the first industry. Where did it begin and how? It began in England with the discovery. That is why they could come and rule over us. With the discovery of first industrial revolution, steam engines. Steam engine would be the trains, the ships, and what is interesting is the muscles of human being was replaced by machine, by steam engine. Then the factories came, the second. Now we are in the fourth industrial age. Connected with this growth of industries, I don't want to elaborate, but I just want to talk to you about the possibility of mass extinctions. Mass extinction is an event where 70 or more percentage of the whole human life, 70 or more percentage of life just vanished from the face of the earth. Life on the planet Earth began about 4 billion years ago. Our solar system emerged about 4.5 billion years ago, and life emerged about 4 billion years ago. And in this course, about 5 great events of mass extinction has already taken place. And now, many scientists believe we are in the 6th mass extinction. And unfortunately, the reason for the 6th mass extinction is we human beings. The way we deal with nature, the way we eliminate other species, the extinction of other species, that unfortunately is leading to the 6th mass extinction. Will AI further accelerate this mass extinction? That is actually the question. Okay, Deep Blue was the chess competition, the chess which was built by the IBM supercomputer. Now you know the Deep Blue can win over any other human competitor. So, Deep Blue, that is about 30 years ago, in 1996, it was able to beat Garry Kasparov in the 6th game match. And that was a turning point. Game Over is a title that describes this match between the Deep Blue and Kasparov. And then the deep thinking, where artificial intelligence ends and human creativity begins. Garry Kasparov, he wrote in the 1997 or 1998. But things have become much more complex now in the last 30 years. Another game was AlphaGo, that is another board game like chess, which also where human beings lost out. This is the AlphaGo. The deep mind, something connected with the deep learning. Nemesis is often seen as the destruction, the collapse, the moral collapse, and with that the collapse of whole civilizations. I want you actually just to be familiar with one author, a British historian, who wrote about the rise and fall of civilizations. He studied about 36 civilizations, including some of our Indian civilizations, and then explored how did the civilizations arise, grow, decay, and die. What is the name of the author? The Rise and Fall of Arnold Toynbee. His main insight is mostly civilizations die from suicide, not from murder. See, our general assumption is civilizations die because the others attack us. But his conclusion after 36 years of 36 civilization study is that when a civilization becomes lethargic, when we lose our purpose and meaning, then the civilization dies by itself. And that is actually another tragedy with the Nemesis. Nemesis is a Greek god. Okay, Nick Bostrom. Nick Bostrom is alive today. He is a philosophy teacher at Oxford. And he said, machine intelligence is the last invention that humanity will ever need to make. The implication is, after they have invented this machine intelligence, sad to say, machines will take over. Human beings don't need to have anything to do. Mark Cuban, another technocrat. I'm telling you, the world's first trillionaires are going to come from somebody who masters AI and all its derivatives and applies it in ways we never thought of. So the primary purpose of making AI grow, unfortunately, is to make profit. It is in this context that we need to understand the Roman code for AI ethics. Another scholar, Erzker, the question of whether a computer can think is no more interesting than the question whether a submarine can swim. So, we are not too much bothered about whether a computer can think. That is actually a theoretical question. The practical question is, computers can exceed human thinking. It may not be thinking as we understand, but computers can perform this act of thinking much better than human beings. Stephen Hawking, you all know Stephen Hawking, the one with an ALS. He died about 3 or 4 years ago. He is certainly one of the greatest brains of the last century. He said, success in creating effective AI could be the biggest event in the history of our civilization. It certainly will improve our lifestyle. It will bring in so much facilities, particularly in medicine. Or the worst. Either it could be the greatest, the biggest event in the history of humanity, or the worst. We just don't know. So we cannot know if we will be infinitely helped by AI or ignored by it and sidelined or conceivably destroyed by it. The imagery they use is when this higher AI, the supercomputers or transhumanists emerge in this world scenario, they would be walking around and they will be doing their business. They will not be even bothered about us. It is just like when I walk on the field, I don't want to kill the ants there. But if the ants are there where I happen to walk, it is actually bad luck for them. So just like I am not interested in killing the ants, but if they happen to be on my way, bad luck for them. So these supercomputers, they may not even want to kill us all, but then if we human beings stand on their way, they will just eliminate us. And that is the danger with the second or third level of AI war machines. Just now we have the AI drones, soon there will be AI robots replacing the scientists, replacing the soldiers. But then the next two levels would be, there will be very few people sitting in AC rooms, controlling the drones and the warplanes, and they would be eliminating the soldiers and the people on the other side. They would not see the harm that they do. Therefore, they will not feel bad about it because they will not witness it with their own eyes. So, hoping it could be the biggest event in the history of our civilization or the worst. Alan Kay, some people worry that artificial intelligence will make us feel inferior, but then anybody in his right mind should have an inferiority complex every time he looks at a flower. Yeah. In spite of all our technological growth, we can never make something as beautiful, as aesthetically pleasing as a flower. Ray Kurzweil, within a few decades, machine intelligence will surpass human intelligence, leading to the singularity. That's what I spoke about, the technological singularity. Technological change so rapid and profound that it represents a break in the fabric of human history. From this moment of technological singularity on, human beings will be at the service of the machines, of the super machines. Elon Musk. I am increasingly inclined to think that there should be some regulatory oversight, maybe at the national and international level, just to make sure that we don't do something very foolish with the machines about ourselves. I mean, with artificial intelligence, we are summoning the demon. We are summoning the demon. We are opening the genie out of the box, and we don't know what emerges after that. We have no more control over it. John McCarthy is the one who first coined the term artificial intelligence. Our ultimate objective is to make programs that learn from their experience as effectively as humans do. That is exactly what ChatGPT, OpenAI do. Now we don't need to give input. Earlier, we need to give the input and the machine will give us the output. No. Now, machines will learn from their own experiences and they will produce outputs of which we, human beings, have no idea. Our ultimate objective is to make programs that learn from their experience as effectively as humans do. We shall say that a program has common sense if it automatically produces for itself a sufficiently wide class of immediate consequences consequences of anything it is told and what it already knows. And that has already come about. Einstein made this remark about 70 years ago. Technological progress is like an axe in the hands of a pathological criminal. A pathological criminal, if he gets an axe, he will keep on attacking because he has no sense of morality, he is not responsible. So the challenge to us as philosophers is, can we make ourselves responsible with all our power? Can we use this power responsibly? Otherwise, it would be the end of humanity. AI could be the last invention humans will ever need to make. With great power comes great responsibility. Any idea who said this? With great power comes great responsibility. You know it? Yeah. You know, I'm teaching in the SNRI. All the students jump at this code. All of them use this. With great power comes great responsibility. That is the Spider-Man. Artificial intelligence and the end of the human era are final invention. As we develop AI and integrate it deeply into the society, we need to have a clear understanding of what we want collectively and set a definitive actions and a set of definitive actions that is ethical, philosophical and social guidelines. That is what the Roman Code tried to do. Prescribing us to move forward with a definite direction so that profit is not the only motive. And this needs ethical considerations, legal ones and social ones. And for that, we need to act collectively, globally. So all the rest, we did not go through all of them, but at least the existential part is extremely important and we were stressing on that. Elon Musk again, mark my words, AI is far more dangerous than nuclear weapons. And it is in this connection that the next two levels of war will be primarily fought through AI. As Pope Francis urges us, it is already time to put an end to war. If we continue to wage war against one another, that would be the end of humanity. The hope which Pope Francis himself says in Laudato Si, the hope is human beings, while capable of the worst, are also capable of rising above themselves, choosing again what is good and making a new start. This is the collective hope. We have gone wrong, we have made so much of calamities, but still we are able to come together and make a new start. And for this, we need Christians, Catholics, we need people of other religions and everyone.
Before we begin our next story, let me show you some images. This is Pope Francis, the Holy See, the sovereign of the Vatican. Now this is him wearing a puffer jacket, riding a motorcycle and drinking beer at a music festival. No, the pontiff is not leading a double life, not that we know of. These images are deep fakes, meaning digitally altered images of the Pope, created using artificial intelligence. Last year when these images went viral, all eyes were on the Holy See, which is why today the Pope has travelled across Italy from St. Peter's Square to Bari to make an historic intervention at the G7 summit. The Pope was welcomed by Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni. There was banter, moving around and some expectation setting. and other nations, Macron put his jacket on as a mark of respect. Argentina's Javier Milei shared a hug. Biden shared a close moment with the Pope, quite literally, and Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi greeted him like an old friend. After the meet and greet, the Pope got down to business. He spoke about artificial intelligence.
Faced with the marvels of machines, which seem to know how to choose independently, we should be very clear that decision-making, even when we are confronted with its sometimes dramatic and urgent aspects, must always be left to the human person. We would condemn humanity to a future without hope if we took away people's ability to make decisions about themselves and their lives by dooming them to depend on the choices of machines.
He pushed for stronger guardrails on AI and stressed on the ethical implications of the technology.
We need to ensure and safeguard a space for proper human control over the choices made by artificial intelligence programs. Human dignity itself depends on it. This starts from an effective and concrete commitment to introduce ever greater and proper human control. No machine should ever choose to take the life of a human being.
Now, he's the first pontiff to address this summit. But this should not come as a surprise because Pope Francis has a record-breaking convention. He is known to weigh in on world affairs. He has sent loud messages on ending the wars in Ukraine and Gaza. He has approved blessings for same-sex couples. He has pushed for women's participation in governing the church. For a sovereign of the Vatican, these are all bold opinions and decisions. But what is surprising is this. Technology is not obvious territory for the church. So why is the Pope talking about AI? Yes, the matter is personal for him, but his concerns go far beyond his unintentional stint of sneaker modeling. As a young man, the pontiff trained as a chemist. Technology interests him. He believes AI offers exciting opportunities, but he also foresees grave risks to mankind. So from a moral authority lens, this is something that the Pope can talk about, and he has. Since the launch of ChatGPT, AI has dazzled the world. But there are fears about AI safety as well, risks in everyday life, the creation of bioweapons. Time and again, the Pope has echoed these concerns. In his annual peace message this year, Pope Francis called for an international treaty on artificial intelligence. The Vatican Research Institute has issued a document as well. It lays out principles for the ethical use of AI. Top tech players, including Microsoft, IBM, and Cisco, have signed this document. And this is the soft power of the papal office. Giorgia Meloni knows this. So it is not surprising that she would invite the Pope to talk about a mutual concern. Last year, Italy placed a temporary ban on ChatGPT. It also plans to penalize the misuse of AI. Meloni supports an ethical framework for artificial intelligence, and what better than give it a push during the G7 summit that she is hosting. With G7 leaders who are at the forefront of the AI debate, the European Union has a wide-ranging AI Act. It is set to take effect over the next 2 years. Japan is drawing up a code of conduct for AI developers. It has a framework of global regulation for AI. The US is calling for an AI legislation. Britain pushed for a dialogue during an AI summit last year. So slowly but surely, G7 nations are trying to regulate artificial intelligence. Meloni can only hope that the papal star power gives them a boost. Parallel G7 cuisine, we are serving it with a side of diplomacy.
Okay, so this is the Pope addressing the G7 meeting for the first time, and he is advocating for human control over AI. What we have been saying is there is the possibility that AI will take over, that we will lose control, that AI after taking over will be misused by the very few rich people to make money out of the poor, out of the marginalized. Pope Francis has really made this gesture, and the world leaders are convinced, but still we have a long way to go. In this connection, have you all heard of Yuval Noah Harari? His books, can you name one or two of his books? Homo sapiens, Homo deus, 21 lessons for 21st century. He is an Israeli historian, but he is very much into philosophy also. He has just 6 months ago in Switzerland made a similar play. On the one hand, he admits that AI can have so much of positive contributions to make. Yes, it can be beneficial to humanity. But on the other hand, it can have so many negative consequences. If you want, you just search the Google Harari, Switzerland, artificial intelligence. You will get the full speech online. Okay, now I have 2 answers. Please email me again to this email ID, jrdtf@xlri.ac.in. This is a very small story, a brief story, which actually I read before the coming of AI. About 20 years ago, I read this story. There was this supercomputer which gathers all information from everywhere, from all the planets, from all the stars, all the libraries, even the SNRI library, all of them were collected. The supercomputer that knows everything about everybody is to be inaugurated. The president of the company, like for the body here, is called to inaugurate this supercomputer. The supercomputer that knows anything, everything, and is connected to the whole. So the president switches on this supercomputer. It takes some time to come the booting, and the computer is ready for the bowling. The president is ready to ask the first question. What is the first question that human being asked when they landed on the moon? When they landed on the moon, what was the first, not question, but the first statement that human beings made? A small step for man, but a great leap for humanity. Okay, so now please answer. What would be the question that you would ask the supercomputer? It will give you the answer. But what would be this one question you will ask this supercomputer? Please send the email. The one question you would ask this supercomputer. Okay? The president had come prepared, and his question was, is there a God? The question which the president of the company asked was, is there a God? Listen carefully. I want you to send another email to the same address. The answer of this supercomputer is, yes, there is from now on. Yes, there is from now on. Write the answer to the question. What is the significance of this answer? The supercomputer has answered, yes, there is from now on. You want to comment on that answer? You want to write out the significance of the answer? Please email me. Okay, now you can tell me. What is the significance of this answer? Is there God? You don't answer. Students, is there God? What is the computer saying? The computer saying it thinks there is a God. And who is God? The computer says it is God. And that is precisely the hubris. Yes, from now on. So till now, there was no God. Now, there is God. I am God. That is the hubris. The president got shaky. He understood. the computer is claiming that it is God. What would you do? It is too dangerous, so shut down. He was about to put off the switch which he started. This big computer sensed what the president was about to do, chopped off his hands. This was a parable. I read it as I told you before this AI came, but that actually points to the dangers of irresponsible growth and progress if we let only profit decide what we are about to do. So from this beautiful human being created by God, will AI overtake us? That is the challenge we are up to. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Dr. Kuruvilla Pandikattu, for those enlightening ideas and insights. We now open the floor for a short intellectual interaction session. Moderating this session will be Dr. Patrick SJ. I now invite Dr. Patrick to lead us in this engaging session.
Good evening, dear friends. It's been an honor and a privilege to chair this session of question answers, and I thank the organizers for giving me this opportunity. Reverend Dr. Kuruvilla, you have really enlightened us on this complex issue and a very exciting philosophical discussion on the growth of AI and the hubris and the nemesis. You spoke a lot about how the AI is very helpful, but also the challenges of existential crisis that is there. And how, first of all, from Rome itself, Pope Francis, and the call from many other parts of the world to be responsible users of AI. Instead of allowing the AI to grow, we need to also become more and more responsible in the growth of AI, not allowing it to grow just as it is growing. And you also highlighted how the guidelines of this transparency, inclusiveness, responsibility, fairness, human dignity, reliability, security and privacy are so important. And the important lesson that we have learned from today is hubris can bring a downfall. And so, with all these points in mind, now I invite, we will have maybe 10 minutes of question answer sessions. You will be having a lot of questions, I know, and in fact I have a lot of questions, but I am now inviting and opening up this discussion for question answer session, and we will take first whoever is ready, first 3 people who raise their hands, and then afterwards again next 3 people who raise their hands. So anybody who would like to start the discussion. So first we have Laurie, second anyone over here? Okay, Rudolph is there, and okay, so let's start with first 2 and then we can start the discussion. It's an exciting field. Let's see what we can think about. Welcome.
Thank you, Guru, for the presentation. To connected question. AI is in, when the possibility. AI is already in, not going to reverse it. From the presidential point of view, therefore, if I fear that what would happen, then the benefits are there. So in that case, who will bear that gap? The world, as you said, will not go ahead of it. So is it that such a dangerous frightening that we will be afraid of?
that would mean people like philosophers, social critics into the picture. Otherwise, things will get bad. In Europe, they have taken it much more seriously. The European Union has brought in more regulations. America is trying to do, but the companies are actually trying to sabotage their rules. See, the companies will agree we need rules, we need guardrails, but then they will also find ways to circumvent them. So, my plea is we all need to be collectively aware, and once we are collectively aware, then the companies cannot misuse us, all of us. See, simple thing like Facebook, making money out of it and growing at that alarming rate, but then human beings are suffering. Okay, what Facebook is doing is a simple thing. It is a question of privacy only. But what about the weapons? What about such terrible tragedies that can affect us? Who will bell the cat, you ask? It has to be a collective thing. The good thing is at least Pope Francis is not only aware, but he is speaking about it. Many other leaders are not even speaking about it. Most of the leaders are aware, but they are afraid of the vote bank, they are afraid of the money they would be earning from these corporates. So they just don't speak about it. So let Pope Francis, if we can relate ourselves, relate these issues and speak about it among ourselves and among the larger population, that will be.
Thank you, Father. Now Rudolph will ask a question.
Thank you, Father, for your input. We can't deny that AI is our own child. Then, we are discussing the possibility of AI and consciousness. Let's imagine that it has got consciousness, like all of us. Then should human rights be extended even to them? Rights to live, freedom to move around, and all these human rights and freedom, should it be extended to even AI?
There are many articles about it, many thinkers have been talking about it. You know, in Saudi Arabia, they have given citizenship to one robot by the name of Sophia. So that means, this Sophia robot is a citizen and it would be treated with respect. That is part of we growing up in our consciousness. But my fear is much worse. My fear is not just giving citizenship to robots or giving actually the rights to the robots. My fear is how do we prevent robots from manipulating us, from taking control of us. See, it may not be the robots per se who will be controlling us. It would be this 0.001% of human beings who are so rich, trillionaires, who want to make still more money. So these few people will be exploiting us using these very robots. See, simple thing, very simple thing which all of us can understand. We are the share market. We will make money. We will not make money, but others make money, say, dealing with the share market. Now the companies are using simple AI, very simple AI. They will predict exactly, and the transactions are made in milliseconds. See, for us human beings to make a transaction, to buy and sell, it will take at least 1 or 2 minutes. But these AIs, simple AIs, will project how the shares will rise and fall. And the transactions are made in milliseconds, much faster than normal human beings. Now the profit doesn't go to this AI, the profit goes to the owner who is employing AI to get money. This is a very simple example. But the point is, like this AI, like these rich people using AI to amass their wealth, what about another super rich person using much more sophisticated AI to be become richer and richer at the cost of ordinary human beings. That would mean in a factory of 1,000 people, today with the help of AI robots, we only need 6 or 7 people. 994 people would be left jobless, but the profit of the manager will remain the same or even more. That is what we need to prevent. Respect the individuals, give them the right to work, the right for fair wages, and don't allow a few people to use AI at the cost of other human beings. The question whether AI itself will become conscious, that is very, very important. But before reaching that stage, we need to look at the misuse of these tiny minorities.
Francis.
Thank you. Thank you, Father, for that brilliant exposition. My question is whether AI will lead to the human being's consciousness to take it to another level, like superhuman being, because of the neuron, interplay between the neurons. Will it take it to another level of the existence of human beings?
Thank you for the question, and that's a very, very good question. See, now we know. Say just before the Jesus Christ came, Carl Jaspers calls that stage as the axial period in the human history. That is a stage where a new moral conscience evolved. With Jesus and Upanishads, Buddha, all those people came at that age, the axial period of the evolution of moral consciousness. Today we really need another growth in our moral consciousness. Only then can we deal with these kind of technological challenges. You see, there is no use saying, let us ban AI. That is not going to solve the problem. The only way we can deal with these challenges, with the possibilities, is if we human beings evolve into a higher consciousness. We are capable of doing it, but at the moment, as I said in the quote from Einstein, we are still behaving like pathological criminal with an axe. But we can evolve in our consciousness, and that is the only way to deal with this terrible and all-powerful power that we have at our disposal. Let's hope, let's pray that AI itself will show a way to raise to this level of consciousness.
Morning.
Thank you, Father, for explaining to us both the advantages and also the harms of this, advantages of this artificial intelligence. I will just refer back to what is happening in this medical advancement, especially regard to few years ago, human genome project was a key word, and similar controversial new discovery was that cloning can be done to animals also, but not by human beings. I think that is the present status. Formal permission is not given to clone human beings. In all these controversies, the key or buzzword or sentence was playing God, particularly with respect to cloning. Now the similar issue is coming now, playing God, artificial intelligence is consciousness. Now my observation, my reading reflection is that all these, whatever position we take, religious ethics comes in form. Religious ethics controls very much what is their view. Overall tone can be technocrats or rich people, they are for this artificial intelligence, whereas many intellectuals, even the religious leaders, are say go slow. So I think the presentation also had that go slow. That's what I pick up. And coming back to our own Roman Catholic stand, in all these situations, we are very careful, we are alarmed, and always we are a little behind, 10 years behind any person. Could be abortion, could be cloning, could be in vitro fertilization. We are ongoing processes, and this is the latest one. So what is your impression on this?
Yeah, thank you. It's a very, very complex and powerful question. Let's put it this way. The last 100 years of the last century, that is from 1905 to 1990, that was the time when human beings got so much of power over nature. Which are the two theories that gave us power over nature? Nature would mean the computer, the GPS, the satellite, and all these kind of things, electricity and everything. Which are the two theories that gave us so much of power over nature? Yeah, that is the theory of relativity by Albert Einstein, and another theory by Albert Einstein, general and particular, and then another theory, which are the theories that gives us power over nature. The computer, the GPS, they are working. No, computer is working based on quantum mechanics. So quantum mechanics and theory of relativity gave us so much of power over nature. Yeah, but then we made a mess of it by making nuclear bombs. That is the sad part of it. Now the second stage, from nature to life. These 10-15 years, starting with 20 years itself, that will give us tremendous power over life. Human Genome Project, cloning, all these, the cyborgs also, they will help us understand, control life. That will be tremendous in its consequences. The third one, still more serious. One was the material reality, second is the biological reality of life, and the third one would be the psychological or the neurological reality of myself, God, prayer. The basic questions like who am I, the philosophical questions, that is about the mind. And there also in the next 30-40 years, there will be so much of growth in the neurosciences that negatively, if a tyrant wants, he may be able to control our mind. Positively, science will be able to understand the functioning of our mind. Who am I? What is consciousness? All these deep philosophical questions most probably will give us so much of power, so much of answer. So at these three levels we are progressing. But in all these, the dangers is, are we playing God? And that is exactly the title of the book we refer to, Harari. You know, Harari doesn't believe in God. He is an atheist. But his second book is Homo Deus. The human beings who want to become God, all powerful, who want to control life and death. And that is part of a hubris that we human beings may try to attain. And that will be the key to our own danger. And there, the only way we can deal with this is religious, spiritual conversion. Now by religion I don't mean the ritualistic religion. That religion will again give us more troubles. But deep spirituality, humility and surrender to God. These are the only two things that can really keep us sane. In spite of the power at our disposal, can we really fall down and the feet of God and say, Lord, I have done my work, but I was only following you. I am a servant. Then, at that stage, we need the humility, we need the sense of servant. Otherwise, see, the power that is at our disposal, whether it be nuclear weapons, whether it be AI, these can actually go wrong at any moment. And what prevents human beings from being mad at each other and destroy each other? Holy God.
So dear friends, we conclude this question answer session because of the lack of time. I don't want to extend it. I know we have a lot of discussions we can have, but I would like to thank Dr. Kuruvilla for enlightening us and his vivid answers to all our questions, instantaneously bringing us to the idea that we need to be responsible citizens, co-evolving with technology. So with that, now I hand over the next proceeding to the organizers. Thank you very much. Thank you, Father Dr. Kuruvilla.
Thank you, Dr. Patrick, for moderating the interactive session for us. As we approach the conclusion of this inaugural function, I invite Rajiv Ranjan to propose the vote of thanks.
Good evening, my dear friends. Proposing a vote of thanks is one of the last items of any program, but one of the most important items. Therefore, it is my honor and privilege to propose a heartfelt vote of thanks to everyone who has contributed to making this event a resounding success. First of all, I would like to direct my thoughts of gratitude to God, who is present with us right now. It's God's grace that we have gathered here for this inaugural function. We thank God for being with us at this moment. I would like to express our deepest gratitude to Dr. Father Kuruvilla Pandikattu SJ for delivering such a thought-provoking and insightful keynote address on the topic Artificial Intelligence and Ethics, Hubris Nemesis or All-Inclusive Growth. Dear Dr. Kuru, despite your busy schedule, you are here with us to share your profound knowledge and deep understanding of both artificial intelligence and ethics, which have truly enriched our minds. Thank you, Dr. Kuru. We are very thankful to Dr. Father Boniface Panna, our beloved rector, for your leadership. Your encouragement and support have been essential in making this event possible. Thank you for your words of blessings. Thank you, Father. We thank Dr. Father Nilayam Fernandez SJ, our principal and dean, for felicitating today's keynote speaker and for encouraging and supporting us in every program of this kind. Thank you, Father. There is a person in our college who is always with us and stands by us. He is none other than Father Francis Souza SJ, our beloved registrar and treasurer. We extend our heartfelt gratitude to you, dear Father Francis. Your contributions have been invaluable, and we are deeply appreciative of your efforts in ensuring everything runs smoothly today. Thank you. A special thanks to Dr. Father Valerian Mendonza SJ, the director of Satya Research Institute. You are the man behind today's inaugural function. Planning and executing a program of this sort is not so easy, but your dedication and hard work have been instrumental in organizing and coordinating this event. Your attention to detail is truly commendable.
Thank you very much, Dr. Bali. I will fail in my duty if I do not thank Dr. Father Patrick SJ for moderating the introduction session. Thank you, Dr. Patrick. Dear Father SJ, thank you for your contribution and especially anchoring this program, and also for letting us know about the annual activities of Satya Nilayam Research Institute. Thank you, Father Vincent. We are grateful to Father Joel D'Souza SJ for introducing to us today's keynote speaker. Thank you, Father Joel. To the SNRI, we are incredibly grateful to you for invoking the Spirit of God and setting a correct tone to enter into this important function. Thank you, dear brothers. We thank Mr. James Thomas for looking after the logistics and book counter. Thank you, Mr. James Thomas. We are extremely grateful to all the brothers who have worked behind the scene for the success of Satya Nilayam Research Institute Inaugural function. Dear brothers, your assistance and enthusiasm have been great help, and your dedication to this event has not gone unnoticed. You took care of so many things. Thank you for your unwavering commitment. Thank you, dear brothers. We thank all the members of the staff of Secretariat College Satya Nilayam for your presence and support. Thank you all. We also thank our support staff, especially Mr. James Thomas, Mr. Shakti and others who have contributed directly or indirectly to the success of today's program. Thank you, our dear staff, support staff. After this program, we have a sumptuous meal prepared by the kitchen team. We thank them for preparing a special meal for us today. Thank you all, dear brothers and our kitchen team. We thank all those who helped us directly or indirectly. Last but certainly not least, to everyone who has attended and participated in this inaugural function, your presence has been a source of encouragement and joy. We are grateful to your support and involvement. Thank you for being with us this evening. I hope I have not left anyone. Once again, and thank you all. Together we have made this event a memorable and successful one. Thank you and have a good night.
Thank you, Rajiv, for expressing our gratitude so eloquently. As we conclude the inaugural function, let us all stand for the Tamil anthem. With this, we officially will begin our 39th academic year.